So let's launch this exercise. So as soon as we launch this exercise, we will come to this page. So it is telling us about we that we have to create a workspace first, and then after creating a workspace, uh, we are going to create a lake house, right? So in that lake house, we will be keeping all the tables and all, right? So the delta tables will be kept in the lake house itself. And for creating the tables there and for the loading the data into the tables, we have various options. So the very first option is to upload a file from your local. So suppose if there is any file kept in your local system, you can simply upload that file, and then you can load the data in that file into your delta table, right? And yeah, if there is any external source of data, suppose the data is kept in Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, which is outside your One Lake framework, then in that case we can use shortcuts, right? Suppose the data is kept in some other environment, suppose in AWS S3 buckets. So in that case also you can use shortcuts. So in shortcuts, you are not going to copy the data, but you are going to create a shortcut, and then you can connect to the data source directly and then use it, right? Yeah, so this is what it is saying. So what it is saying about Lakehouse? So large scale data analytics solution have traditionally been built around a data warehouse, okay, that we have already seen in our last discussion, right? And so in this, the data is stored in relational table format, right, in data warehouse. And since with the advent of big data, right, um, since the data has been grown to many folds, a big data is actually characterized by three V's basically. So it is high volume, variety, and velocity. So huge volume of data, and the variety of data. So different formats of data is coming: video format, text format, audio format, and the velocity of the new data assets. So the velocity with which this data is coming. So these are the characteristics with which the big data is characterized from, right? So the lake house is going to accommodate both kinds of data, right? So it is the combination of both the data warehouse as well as the data lake that we have already covered in our last discussion, and that is what they are telling, right? So yeah, so to go ahead with this exercise, you need a Microsoft Fabric trial version, right? So you can create an account and get the Microsoft Fabric trial version enabled for you, and then you can take the further steps. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a workspace first, right? So let me go to the trial version, and then yeah, I have the trial version enabled here. And then in the workspace, I can see that, okay, I can create a new workspace over here, right? You can give any name here. So this is a trial version that I have selected, and then I can do the apply. So as you can see now, I am in my workspace that I have just created. So inside this workspace, I'm going to create a lake house, right? So let me see what they are telling. So we are going to create a lake house, right? So here, if you click on this new, you can see, and you can see so many workflows like data pipeline. You can create a data pipeline, data flow gen 2 and all. So fine, there are too many things out there, but yeah, we are going to create the lake house. We can give a name, and then we can create. So as soon as you create a lake house, you can see there are two things. We have one is the file and another is the table, right? So in file, what we can do is we can upload the file, right? If it is there in your local system, once uploading the file here, you can load that file data into the table, and then it will be written in a delta format, right? So what we can do is I already have some test data there. See, one more thing. So successfully created SQL endpoints. So let me go back here. I think we have already discussed this. That whenever we are creating the lake house, the SQL endpoints and semantic model, these two are the by default, these will be created for you, right? So this is the test. Uh, See, in Fabric test, so this is the workspace, and under this I have created a lake house, right? Test lake house. So you can see this, and with this, these two things, one is semantic model. This will be created, okay, and then an SQL endpoint will also be created. So now in this lake house, whatever tables that I'm going to create, so those tables uh, will be there in this semantic model, right? But this will be the default semantic model, and I can create my own semantic model using those fact tables and the dimension tables, whatever tables that I'm loading into my lake house, right? And then I can design my star schema, well structured star schema out of it, which will be a semantic model for me. And then you know, from using Power BI desktop, I can connect to this semantic model, and then I can create my own reports there. Yeah. So fine. So we were inside the lake house. So as soon as you'll go into the lake house, so we have this file. So let us do one thing. We can create a subfolder here, right? It's not mandatory, but yeah, just to keep things organized, it's always better to create some folders and subfolders. So that's what we are doing here, right? So yeah, this folder has been created, and now we can upload any file from here. We can click on upload files, and then we can create. Yeah, so as soon as you click on this upload and upload files, this will be coming, and then you can choose the path, and then you can the file which is wherever it is kept in your local, you can select that file and you can upload it. So I have these test files, the CSV files that I'm going to load into the lakehouse, right? So yeah, let me take this CSV file and I can upload this. Yeah, so see, it has been uploaded, and if I click the data folder that I have created, I can see this file, right? I can see the properties here. Yeah, so good. So now what we can do is we can load this to the table, right? So when we go to the new table, it will ask that what would be the table name that I want to give. So let me give it a name as sales itself, right? Maybe I can give 2015, yeah. And then since it is a sales CSV file, so the separator is automatically selected here. And then the column header would be use header for the column name. So the in this file, the header is nothing but the column name. This is what it will show. Yeah. So let us load this. So it is running here, and it is loading the this data into the table. So the data has been successfully loaded into the delta table, and that's this you can see from here. So let us click on this table, and then you can see the table has been loaded, and with the header as the column names, right? And if you can see here, there is a small triangle sign which will be coming. So it signifies that this is the delta table format. Okay, yeah. So now in this table which is there, you know, in this table folder, so this will be a delta table. And if you go to this three dots, right, and then if you click on it, you will see view files. So here you can see that we have one Parquet format file and one delta log folder. So this Parquet format file is nothing but the actual data that we were seeing just now, right, in the tabular format. So it will be in the Parquet format. Now since this file was very small file, so we can only see one part of this file. Suppose our file is is a big file, too many records are there. Suppose there are millions and billions of records would be there in the table, suppose, then there will be multiple parts of this file, you know and that is what we call it is a distributed storage system, right? So Lakehouse would be a distributed storage system, and then this file, whatever we'll be looking here, just imagine that we have a different part of this file. So it is distributed across different virtual machines. So that is how it will be, right? And then this delta log, so in this case we have only small files, so we only have just one Parquet format file. And then in this delta log we see one JSON format, one file of JSON format. So this is nothing but the transactional logs. So whatever operations that we are going to do on this delta table, everything will be recorded in the transaction logs, right? So in this delta log basically, so it will be really useful. uh, you know uh, Suppose just think of uh, someone by accident has deleted this table, right? So since we would be having this transactional logs, we can simply restore this table, and then yeah, we can restore this table. Or suppose someone has made some changes in the table, right? They have deleted some data and all, so we can do the time travel using this transaction logs, and then we can go to the previous version. So this is about that, right? So if we come out of it, yeah, let's go to that documentation. So what they are telling. So yeah, so this is what they are also telling in the Lakehouse Explorer pane. Select the sales table and has been created to view the data. Fine. And then in the three dots menu for the sales table, select view files to see the underlying files for this table. Yeah. So this is what they are also showing. So see, in this sales table, we can see one JSON format file is there. So files for a delta table are stored in Parquet format and include a subfolder named delta log in which the details of the transactions applied to the table are logged. Fine. Now use SQL to query the tables. So now since you have created a delta table in your Lakehouse, a SQL endpoint is automatically created through which the tables can be queried using SQL select statements, right? So at the top right of the Lakehouse page, switch from Lakehouse to SQL endpoints, analytics endpoints. This then wait a short time until the SQL analytics endpoint for your Lakehouse opens in a visual interface for which you can query its table. Fine. So let's go back to our workspace. In the top right, we can see we have Lakehouse, and we also have SQL Analytics endpoint, which was created by default while we were creating the Lakehouse. So let's click on it, and then we will be moving to the SQL query part, right? So here we can see this table. Fine. And then here we can at the top ribbon we can see this new SQL query, right? So if we click over here, so here we can write our queries. So select star from sales under 2015. If we run it, we can see, right, the query is running fine. And Okay, I think instead of this, I should I should have do the select count star. So let's do this. Yeah, so as you can see, yeah, we can write the query, right? So our data analyst can also write the queries here, right? So I have written another query. Let's see how it give the result to us. Yeah. So as you can see, it we can write the query as well, right? So whatever table that we have, the delta lick table, uh, we can write the SQL query on top of it, right? Also, we can see that there is something called new visual query, right? So if we click on it, so it is actually for those people who are not so pro in writing SQL query, right? So Microsoft has actually designed it in a way that would be useful for people who are good in writing SQL query as well, and for the people who would prefer low code or no code for doing the analysis or doing the transformations basically, right? So here we whatever table that you want to do the transformations on, you can simply click on it and drag it over here. So as soon as you will drag it, you will see the table, right? And then here at the down you will see the actual table or whatever data that would be there, and then as and when we will do the transformation, it will show us the results here. So we have this, and so we have here manage columns. Maybe we can simply go and choose columns over here, and you can choose any number of columns. So let me choose product key and order quantity, click OK, and see we can see the data has been transformed, right? Now maybe we can do the group by. Under transformation we can do the group by as well. So let us do the group by based on the product key. Here let us give a new column name, so order quantity, and then we are going to do the sum of this quantity, and then yeah, it will be the it will do the sum this operation over this column order quantity, and let's press OK, right? So whatever transformation, see you can see that a new column has been created, order quantity, and then we have the summation of those quantity for corresponding product keys whatever is there in our table. So in this way we can do multiple transformations whatever we want. Okay, either we can write an SQL query and do the transformation on the table, or we can use the visual query and do all those transformations, right? And then we can, instead of saving it on the table, we can save it as a view, right? And then we can use that view for our uh, use while for creating the reports as well, right? So these two things are there: new SQL query and then new visual query, right? Now, so this was about it, and then if you go to the model view, so at below you can see we have a model view as well, right? So if you go there, you can see that the table, the delta table that we have created, so it is here, sales 2015, right? So this is the semantic model. So as of now, we have only we have only loaded one table, so we can see this one table. You can ignore these other tables because these are the default tables which are actually coming from information schema, right? It is coming from the query insights basically. So it is out of the scope of as of now, so maybe we'll not discuss about it, but we can discuss about it sometime later whenever we are whenever we need it, right? So as of now we will only focus on this sales 2015 table that we have, right? Yeah, so Let's go back to our documentation and see that what is there. Okay, so use SQL to query the tables that we have already seen how we can do that, right? And then we can create a visual query as well. That also we have seen that how we can do that, right? Okay, so they are also doing this group by operation there in their table, and then yeah, so that is it. And then for creating the report, now for creating the report, the tables in your lakehouse are automatically added to a default semantic models for reporting with Power BI. So as of now, we have only loaded one sales table. So it is only that table that we can see in our semantic model. But as and when, suppose we are creating or loading the other dimension tables as well, or other fact tables as well for that matter, we can see all those tables in our semantic model, and then we can create our semantic model here. So this will be the default semantic model. We will see all the tables here, but we can create our own semantic model with all the dimensions and the fact table, create the relationship among those tables, and then we can create the reports out of it. See here, they are saying that okay, the views that you can see here are part of you know part of the query insight schema, which are automatically created by Fabric. Okay, so fine, we are going to create a report. So let's go back. So yeah, maybe we can go to this new report. So first add data to the default data set. Do you want to use all of the one table and views below? Only objects that can be added are shown. Alternatively, to choose individual tables and view select, manually update the dataset. Fine. So we will continue. See. So as of now, in our semantic model, there was only one table, right? So we have our table here, and then we can create our visuals over here, right? So we have order quantity. We can select the order date over here, right? Or we can select the order date, right? Yeah. So yeah, so this way we can create our reports in Power BI, right? So let's go back to our documentation, what they are saying. So yeah, so they are also creating the report, fine. And then once you are done with the creating your report, you can save it, okay? And then finally you can see that your report in your workspace itself, right? So maybe we can also do one thing, we can simply save this report, right? It will ask the name. Oh, sorry. So yeah, we have to write the name here and then we can save it. Yeah, so our report is saved now. If you go to your workspace, you can see your semantic model, your SQL endpoint, and your test report that you have created. So good. I think this is it for today. And now you can clean up the resources and then yeah. So guys, I hope that this video is useful for you. You have got an idea that how we can, create a workspace, and then how we can create a lake house. And in the lake house, how can we upload the files there, and then how can we load the data into the delta table. And then Once the data is uploaded in the delta label, we can uh, either write the SQL query there, right? While after going to SQL endpoints, and we can also we can also use visual query, uh, okay, for doing the transformations, and then we can create the views, and also we can use it in our semantic model, right? So I would urge you to explore it, play around with it, and if you have any questions, please comment in the chat, and then in the comment section, just comment it in the comment section, and then definitely I will come back to you. Thank you for watching my video, and I wish you all the best. Have a good day.